Evelyn learned two truths the night she buried her mother. Grief has weight, and love has teeth. The rain pressed the cemetery into a gray blur, and somewhere beyond the umbrellas stood Julian Ashcroft, hands folded, face serene, a black rose pinned to his lapel. He had paid for the funeral. He had written the eulogy. He had cried the loudest. He had also been the reason her mother was dead. Julian's empire, Ashcroft Biotech, had poisoned a river in a town no one cared to name. Evelyn's mother had tried to expose it. She'd gathered documents, photographs, testimony. Then she fell down a flight of stairs. The case went quiet. The river stayed black. Evelyn watched Julian that night and decided revenge would not be loud. It would be intimate. She joined Ashcroft Biotech under a different name, not with anger blazing, but with patience sharpened into a blade. She learned Julian's habits, how he liked his coffee bitter, how he avoided elevators, how he believed honesty was a weakness. She learned his loneliness too. The way he lingered after meetings. The way he stared at city lights as if they owed him something. When he noticed her, it wasn't suspicion, it was curiosity. When he asked her to dinner, it wasn't strategy. It was need. Evelyn fell in love with him by accident. That was the cruelest part. Julian was gentle in private. He laughed with his whole body, kissed like he was apologizing, held her as if the world might steal her if he didn't. On nights when the city slept, he told her about his father's brutality, his fear of becoming a monster. He told her he wanted to do something good someday. She almost believed him, but then she found the files. Buried in encrypted servers were the memos approving waste dumping, the bribes, the quiet threats. Julian's signature glowed on every page. Like a confession. He hadn't just inherited the empire, he had sharpened it. Evelyn's love didn't die, it curdled. She planned the end with the tenderness of a lover. She copied files, traced money, planted seeds. She let Julian propose on a night washed in champagne and fireworks. She said yes with a smile that tasted like iron. The trial of Ashcroft Biotech broke the city. When the story hit the news, Julian was stunned, not by the evidence, but by the source. Evelyn's face filled every screen. As the whistleblower who had lived among wolves and learned their language, the river town finally had a name. The dead finally had witnesses. Julian came home early that day. He didn't shout. He didn't rage. He simply looked at her, eyes hollowed by understanding. "You loved me," he said. "I still do," Evelyn replied. That hurt him more than hate ever could. They took him away in cuffs while cameras sang. The empire collapsed into settlements and apologies too late to matter. People called Evelyn a hero. Others called her a traitor. She accepted neither. Heroes don't love their villains. Traitors don't tell the truth. Months later, Julian wrote her from prison. His letters were quiet, thoughtful, full of remorse that might have been real. He said he was glad she stopped him. He said loving her had been the truest thing he'd ever known. Evelyn never wrote back. Instead, she visited the river. It ran clearer now, reflecting the sky. Like a promise kept, she imagined her mother standing beside her, arms crossed, proud and furious. All at once, revenge hadn't healed her, love hadn't saved him, but justice, slow, flawed, bleeding, had arrived. On the last night of summer, Evelyn burned the final letter. Unopened, the ash lifted into the dark like a prayer that knew better than to ask forgiveness. She walked away carrying both truths. That love can be real and still be wrong, and that sometimes the deepest revenge is choosing the truth, especially when it breaks your heart to do it.